Hi, welcome to Pope Digest. Here we cover Pope Leo's encyclicals, homilies, and other speeches. Today we're covering his address to the participants in the seminar for evangelizing with the families of today and tomorrow. This was a speech he gave right after a gathering of families, children, grandparents, and the elderly. Right at the beginning, Pope Leo mentions that he's pleased to welcome these families, children, grandparents, and the elderly. Now, why is he welcoming them? He's welcoming them because of a gathering for the evangelizing of the families of today and tomorrow. A group of priests are gathering to reflect on this theme. There's a lot of challenges to raising a family. That has been true of all stages and at all times of the faith journey, whether or not this was in the medieval ages, in the 300s, 400s, or today. The challenges are different for sure, but they're still there. Some people have said, some priests have been known to say that encountering and embarking on the vocation of the family life is likened to a great adventure. Okay. Now, the Pope is saying that he's pleased to welcome these individuals and recognizes that it's a celebration. He continues on to discuss this theme. The theme being that the church, in her maternal wisdom, is looking out for Christian families. So I wanted to pause and highlight the church's maternal aspect. What does that mean? Well, what does maternal come from? It comes from mother. And what does a good mother do? A good mother cares for, nurtures, and supports the home. I in my family, we used to joke. My great grandmother, she would joke that, yes, your great grandfather, he's the head of the family. You know what? I'm the neck and I'm the heart. The head doesn't go anywhere. The neck doesn't want it to go. And many families would see this. Strong women, strong mothers and grandmothers, they lead their families in so many ways. They guide their families. The mom is the one that supports and provides comfort. In the same way that the father supports the family by going out and providing, gathering goods, whether that's financial or resources in a traditional family. Well, the mother provided support in a great many other ways: nurturing, care, solidarity, all of these things. And the church is that. The church is our mother, Mother Church. It's for all of us Catholics to come to seek refuge, to feel confident in the protection and embrace of the church. When we are hungry, when we are in need, when we are starving for spiritual assistance and comfort, where ought we to go? To the loving arms of Mother Church. Pope Leo is highlighting this theme. He's also highlighting that living members of the mystical body of Christ, we have a responsibility to the new generations. Many people talk about the needs of the future of the church. We talk about how younger people are falling away from the church and that the numbers of younger parishioners in Catholic parishes is quite small compared to what it might have been 30, 40, even 50 years ago. How do we reach out to the youth? How do we engage those younger families? Is a question that I hear often. Well, our spiritual father, Pope Leo, is saying that we are all living members of Christ's mystical body. We're all part of this church, of Mother Church. And Mother Church is to go out and be that warm, loving embrace to the world. So we, as members of that body, participate in that, or we ought to. So think about that the next time that someone in your life or somebody in your sphere of influence is wanting and needing of spiritual enrichment, spiritual love. Perhaps that's God calling you to be that person for them. So further on, Pope Leo, he mentions his spiritual father, Saint Augustine, but he also, and this is the part that I really like to finish our summary on, is the privatization of faith. Okay. In the face of this need, he says, in the face of this need, an increasingly widespread privatization of faith often prevents these brothers and sisters, those that have left the loving embrace of the church, from knowing the richness and gifts of the church, from knowing the richness and gifts of the church, a place of grace, fraternity, and love. That's what a mother provides. That's what the maternal aspect of the church provides. A place of grace, fraternity, and love. A place of acceptance. Okay? A place where you might feel comfortable or anyone might feel comfortable engaging in a personal relationship with Christ. But in our society, an increasingly widespread privatization of faith has become. Pope Leo warns this group of families, parents, grandparents, and the elderly that it's imperative for each and every one of us, as members of that mystical body of Christ, to reach out to those in our life, those in our spheres of influence, and say, I'm here. I'm here to help you engage with Christ, to build a relationship with Him, but in community, not as private individuals, separate in our homes, but together. We are all called as individuals by name. The Lord knows us each by name and calls us. But Pope Leo here is mentioning and encouraging each and every one of us to not forget that Christ, even though He called each of the disciples by name, He gathered those 12 and said, go to the ends of the earth and gather my people under one church. We are all one family, and one family supports and loves each other. Until next time, God bless.